So my name is Kaylee. I've been teaching yoga since 2017. I'm going to do a little bit of a yin and restorative combined. So instead of holding poses for 5 to 10 minutes as we would in restorative, we'll do some restorative poses, but we won't hold them quite as long. So we're going to start with a little bit of a warm up. So we're just going to rock side to side, bring the ears to each shoulder. Not necessarily making a full circle, just side to side to start with. Starting to slow the breath. Maybe start to slow the rolls down. You can start to roll the other direction, going forward. If you feel the shoulders starting to pull up, you can always sit them under the sits bones, just holding them down a little bit. We'll start to make full circles now, rolling all the way around from the chest to the shoulder blades, behind to the next shoulder, back to the chest. You can change direction, start to roll the other way. One more here. So next inhale, we'll start to come back to a neutral, looking forward. Take a breath here. And inhale, we're gonna bring both arms up overhead. You can stretch up, maybe lean back just a little bit. And we're going to exhale, bring the fingers together, kind of clasp just like this. And you're gonna bring those hands to the back of the head, top of the neck, bottom of the skull. We're gonna look upward first. Leaning the head back into the palms of the hands. Lifting the chest, opening the chest as much as possible. And if you leave the elbows a little closer together, you'll feel it more in the backs of the arms. If you widen the elbows, you'll feel it more in the chest and the shoulders. One more breath here. Big inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to start to tuck the chin into the chest, leaving the hands right where they are on the back of the head, just giving a little push forward. Taking some deep breaths here, feeling that stretch all down the spine. One more time, we're going to inhale as we start to look up into a neutral position, looking forward. And exhale, we're going to lean the head back in the hands, cradling the head. Again, feel free to move the elbows wherever feels better for you, whether you want that stretch back here in the triceps or if you need it more in the chest, open heart. Last breath here, big inhale. And exhale, we're going to start to tuck the chin back into the chest one more time. Deep exhale. Few breaths here, feeling that all down the spine. One more breath. And inhale, we're gonna come back up. You can drop the hands. We're gonna drop the hands behind the back. I'll turn to face you so you can see. We're gonna clasp hands together just like we had them before, but we're gonna push towards the mat, opening the chest, opening the shoulders. Opening right here in the front of the shoulder blades will come together as we push the palms down. On the next inhale, we're gonna take our hands to one side, kind of just holding your hands like this. Across to the other side of the body, hugging into the hips, into the waist. And so we're gonna turn our ear away from that pulled down shoulder. So turn your ear towards your hands. We're gonna take a few easy breaths into this side. Right here through that trap and into the neck is where a lot of us hold a lot of pressure. So we're gonna take some easy breaths here. Maybe you move a little bit, looking up and down, feeling where the most tension is held. Just paying attention to that. Just a couple more breaths here. Any last movements you need, whether you're looking up or down. About 2 breaths here. We're gonna take one more inhale. And exhale, you can start to release, coming back to the middle. On the inhale, you can lift the chest one more time, pushing the palms into the mat. And exhale, we'll start to twist the arms to the other side, holding hands right here on this hip. Turning the ears away from that shoulder towards the hands. Again, a few deep breaths here. Easy breathing into that trap, into the neck. Trying to release that tension slowly. We're going to take about 2 more breaths here. Any final movements? Bring chin up or down. One more inhale. And exhale. Start to come back to the middle, release the hands. One last time, you can inhale, opening the chest. And exhale, relaxing, you can bring the hands back around to the front. We're gonna do some circles, rib circles first. Imagine a little polka dot right here in the middle of your ribs, and you wanna move around an imaginary hula hoop. I'm just gonna do a couple circles on each side. It's an area that we just don't stretch a lot, opening the side body. And this will also stimulate the vagus nerve that runs through the neck into the ribs. And next breath, we'll start to move the other direction. Last one. Inhale, sit up tall. We're going to do full circles now using the lower back to bring the chest down to the knees, back around. And these big circles are really good for the lower back. Now I'll switch to the other side. Last one. And inhale, we'll sit up tall. So we're going to start to bring the bottoms of the feet together for a butterfly. Maybe you flap your wings here. You can rock a little bit from side to side if that feels good, massaging the bottom of the legs out on the floor, or the sides of the legs. You're also welcome leading with the chest, keeping the spine as straight as possible. You can lean into the legs, maybe give the knees a little bit of a push, not too far, just opening the hips a little bit more. One more breath here. Any last movements that feel good? Flapping your wings, rocking back and forth. Or last breath here and stretch. And inhale, we'll come sitting up tall. And we're going to send the right leg out to the side first. Left leg will stay here. We're going to inhale as we lift up tall. Arms up overhead. And on the exhale, we're just going to twist a little bit towards that right leg and lean into that leg. Reaching for the toes, maybe for the knees, the calves, sides of the feet, the toes, wherever we're at. And at home, if you have a blanket or a pillow, you can put under your head and just kind of rest here. That's good too. And next breath, we'll start to walk our hands back up, slowly lifting the head. We'll bring that foot back in. If you'd like, you can flap your wings or rock side to side again here. We're gonna send the left leg out whenever you're ready. Extending that leg. Right leg will stay right here. We're gonna inhale up over our head. Lifting up tall. Turning slightly to the left and exhaling as we lean over that left leg. Again, reaching for the knee, the calf, side of the feet, or the toes. Wherever you're at is fine. Maybe you rest your head here. I'm kind of using my toes to prop up my arms so I can rest my head right here. Then next breath, we'll start to inhale, walking our hands up the thighs one more time. Straightening the spine, we'll start to bring the feet back together. Maybe butterfly one more time, flapping your wings, rocking side to side. Couple movements, whatever feels good. I'm going to turn to the side so I can join you here on the mat. We're going to stay in that butterfly position with our legs. We're just going to slowly walk ourselves back to a laying position on the floor. And if this is a little intense on the hips, you can always support them by putting the hands under the thighs. Maybe put a pillow or a blanket under the legs. And we're just going to hold right here for a few breaths, letting the hips fall open. You can rest the hands on the thighs, on the belly, maybe out to the side, palms facing upward, or under the legs. One more breath here. Next inhale, we'll start to pick up the knees, bringing the feet to the mat, bottoms of the feet to the mat. You kind of rock the ankles back and forth, that might feel good. So we're gonna bring one leg up at a time. We're gonna reach for that right foot. And if this is comfortable, you can stay right here, or if you want to extend that left leg, you can. Maybe reach for the back of the leg, maybe reach for the toes. You can also use a strap here if you had one, wrapping around the bottoms of the feet and pulling in to the chest. Holding onto that leg. You can even move that leg out to the side a little bit if that feels good. If the hips feel open and ready for that stretch, feel free to go ahead right there. Again, make sure you're still supporting that leg. Maybe keep an elbow on the floor. Keep an elbow on the floor just like this. And you can bring the hand to the leg. So it's still supported to the side. Again, if that's uncomfortable, you're welcome to keep that leg straight over the hips or pull into the chest just a little bit for more stretch in the backs of the legs. If the leg is off to the side, we'll start to bring it back in. One more breath here, big inhale. And exhale, we'll start to bring that leg down, back to the mat. We'll start to switch legs. Both legs will come back up here, and we'll inhale as we bring the other leg up in the air. And if this is enough, that's fine. Or if you want, you can extend the other leg straight out to the floor. Maybe you pull that leg into the chest. Maybe you let it fall out to the side. Whatever variation is most comfortable. I'll give you a few breaths here, a few moments. The leg is off to the side. You can start to inhale to bring it back to the middle, just tap over the hip. One more breath here, big inhale. And exhale, you can start to bring that leg back down to the floor. Then the other leg back up. Bottoms of the feet will be on the mat. We're going to inhale, bring both knees to the chest this time. Big inhale, give them a hug. Maybe you rock a bit from side to side. Again, giving the muscles a little bit of a massage on the floor. Trying to tuck the tailbone under as much as possible. Make sure the low back is touching the mat. When we're ready, we'll stop the rolling, start to come to a still position right here in the middle. Again, low back will be pressed into the mat. Knees are tucked into the chest. You can start to reach through the knees, reaching for the feet, the outsides of the feet. You can keep them right here together. Or if you want a little bit more, you're welcome to pull the feet up, pull the knees into the armpits for a happy baby. One more breath here. Whenever you're ready, you can start to release the feet. Almost come back to that little cannonball. Just hugging knees back into the chest. Big inhale. Maybe you give one more rock side to side. So next breath, we're just gonna roll over to one side. And we're gonna push up into a seated position and then come to all fours. We're gonna do a little set of cat-cow here. So on the inhale, we're gonna bring the belly button down. We're gonna arch the back towards the mat. And the gaze is gonna go upward. And then on the exhale, we're gonna use the belly button to push all the air out, arch the back towards the ceiling, tuck the chin into the chest, pushing through the hands into the mat. Inhale, rounding, looking outward. Belly button will come down. Exhale, using the belly button, push the air out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, we're gonna come to a flat back. We're gonna tuck the toes under here. And we're just gonna sit back to resting on the feet. Make sure you tuck those little pinky toes under. We're just gonna take a few breaths here. Stretching all through the fascia, through our feet. And depending on how wide you keep the knees, you'll feel it through different places in your feet, in the plantar fascia. Feel free to adjust the knees however you need. Maybe you need to stretch in a few different places in your feet. Sitting up tall, putting the weight into the feet. Sitting the hips down on top of the heels. And next breath, we'll start to inhale as we walk forward. You can untuck the toes now. Maybe you want to sit back on the toes, kind of stretch the tops of the feet on the mat a little bit. You can bring the knees out to the outsides of the mat. Knees will come right to the corners. We're just going to walk out as we exhale into a child's pose. Bring the chest to the floor, hips back as much as possible. Take a few gentle breaths here. And inhale, we're going to start to roll up. And back to that all fours. Hands right under the shoulders, knees under hips. So we're going to take an inhale, right arm is going to come up overhead. And on the exhale, we're going to dive through under the left arm, bringing that shoulder down to the mat, ear comes down. Just resting right here. The left arm can start to come forward. Maybe it rests on the back behind you. You can start to walk the left hand back down to support you right next to your face. And on the next inhale, we're going to lift back up, bring that right arm all the way through, back up to the top, small twist. And exhale, we can drop that right hand back to the floor. Next breath, we're going to go on the other side. So the left hand will come up, overhead. And exhale, we're going to dive through under the right arm, bringing that left shoulder to the floor. Right hand can start to come forward. Right hand goes to the top of the mat or behind the back. Right hand can start to come back down towards the face. To support as we lift and inhale, bring that left arm out from under us and back overhead. And exhale, we can bring that back down. So next breath, we're just going to come to laying on the mat. Face down, belly button on the mat, on the floor. So we're going to bring both arms out beside us just so we know they're in a straight line. We're going to do a wing on the ground. We're not going to hold it too long, but we're going to lay over one side, lay onto that shoulder, just kind of pushing that shoulder into the floor as you put weight on it. You'll roll and find the ground. And then just to demonstrate, I'll go ahead and do the other side. So you'll push off the ground and use that top foot, find the floor as a balancing point. As soon as your toes can touch the ground, it's probably far enough. There is a difference in discomfort and pain. If you feel a sharp sensation, if your breathing starts getting heavier, faster, verging on pain there, and just go ahead and roll back out. But a little discomfort is okay here. This is another sensitive area where we seem to hold a lot of pressure. It's right here in the front of the chest and the shoulders. So we're just trying to peel that open onto the floor. And keep using that top leg as a prop to make sure you don't roll too far. You'll notice over time, you'll be able to go a little bit further, or it'll be easier to sneak back further onto that shoulder. Right, one more breath here. Big inhale. And exhale, we'll start to roll back to the middle, bringing the leg down first, and then rolling back to the middle, releasing that shoulder, put arms back out so we know that they're straight in a straight line. And then you can start to roll over on the other shoulder, peeling it open onto the floor, using the foot to find the ground. One more breath here. Big inhale. Start to bring the leg down first, and then start to roll back in. Lean that shoulder off the floor. We'll start to bring the hands in towards the center. We're going to do a baby cobra first. So on the inhale, we're just going to lift the chest slightly off the mat, looking forward. Exhale, you can come back down. One more of those. Inhale, lifting up, lifting the chest only. Ribs will still be on the floor. And then exhale, you can come back down. Okay. So from here, we're just going to flip back over onto our backs. One more time, we're going to inhale, bring your knees back into the chest. Give them a hug, maybe rock a bit from side to side one more time. For the last time, massaging the back on the floor. So this time we're going to send the right leg down to the floor, keeping the left knee into the chest. We're going to take a big inhale. And exhale, we're going to bring the left knee over the right side of the body for a twist. Maybe send the left arm back and look over the fingertips. Remembering to breathe here. Last breath here. On the inhale, we'll start to roll back to the middle, bring that left knee in. Plug it in the chest one more time. And exhale, you can drop that to the floor. Readjust if you need to. And inhale, we're gonna bring the right knee into the chest, give it a hug. And exhale, right knee will go over the left side of the body for the twist. Maybe send the right arm out behind you and look over the fingertips. We're gonna take one more breath here. And next inhale, start to roll back to the middle, bring that right knee in. And give it one more hug if you'd like. And on the exhale, we're just gonna send that down to the floor. Readjust if you need, bring yourself back to the middle of the mat. We're gonna find a comfortable laying position. Maybe let the feet fall out to the side, arms come out to the side. You can turn palms down for grounding or upward for receiving. I'm going to take just a few moments here in Shavasana. This may be a time where you focus on the breath. You can focus on the in and the out of the breath. Maybe you focus on the sensation, the way it feels coming in your nose, filling your belly. Or maybe you do a bit of a body scan, starting at the top of your head, all the way down your toes, focusing on each muscle, trying to relax them, melt them into the floor as much as possible. Or maybe you try to focus your breath into one area of the body. Wherever you focus your attention, we'll take a few moments, a few breaths dedicated just to that. the mind is starting to wander, we can start to bring it back. We're going to take just a few more breaths here. We can start to bring small motions back to the body. Maybe we'll go the fingers or the toes. Maybe start to put the hands over, rocking the wrist back and forth. Maybe just go ahead and roll the wrist. You can start to rock the feet back and forth, starting to wake up the ankles. You start to pick up each leg and roll the ankles. You start to pick up the arms, start to reach up overhead. Maybe stretch a little bit from side to side on each corner of the mat, opening the side bodies as well. Whenever you're ready, you can start to pick up the feet, start walking them in. Find the mat with the bottom of the feet. If you're like me, you have to tuck your hips back under, but find the floor with the low back. Start to bring the knees back into the chest. You can rock side to side if you'd like. And no rush here, but whenever you are ready, you can roll to one side, using the arm as a pillow, tuck the knees into the chest one last time, give them a hug. Giving your body a hug and a thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up today. We're going to take one more breath together. Big inhale through the nose. Feeling the belly as much as you can, feeling the chest. And big sigh out of the mouth. You're welcome to stay here as long as you like, but whenever you're ready, you can put one hand on the floor and start to push yourself up to finish. And that's all I have today. Thank you for showing up and doing some yoga with me today. I appreciate it.